It began with a cough so soft you'd miss it if you weren't paying attention. Otto Kilcher, the man who built a life by outlasting avalanches and wrestling tractors into submission, didn't go down with a bang. No dramatic collapse in front of the cameras. Just a slow, creeping unraveling that Discovery's show never really captured. While the rest of the world saw a man patching up fences and wrangling cattle in the snow, what they didn't see was the pill bottle hidden deep in his parka, or the grimace he swallowed every time he stood up straight. And in a haunting twist no one expected, the most revealing part wasn't a medical emergency. It was what he scribbled in his journal. Words never meant for an audience, now forever altering how we see him. The silence after the fall was deafening. Otto had always been the fixer, the man who could stitch a radiator back together in the middle of a whiteout with nothing but duct tape and grit. His childhood on the Kilcher homestead, 11 miles from Homer, Alaska, wasn't about convenience. No running water, no electricity, just survival. He was born into a world where your life depended on whether or not you could sharpen your own axe. But pain changes even the most stubborn men. By 2016, Otto faced a reckoning. Hernia surgery. It sounds minor until you picture this Alaskan Ironman, who once dragged a frozen ox carcass uphill by hand, suddenly vulnerable under the fluorescent lights of an operating room. That moment, that flicker of humanity, cracked open a door that had long been bolted shut. From that day, the cracks widened. The audience caught glimpses, short pauses during chores, the wince he thought was hidden. But no one imagined the day the cameras would stop mid-roll, because Otto had collapsed in the snow, ribs crushed under the weight of an ox, lungs fighting for air that never came. One of the strongest men the frontier had ever known was suddenly trapped beneath the very nature he once tamed. And just when you think the worst had passed, Otto's brush with death turned into something more brutal. Silence. Discovery ran a teaser for the episode called He Might Die. But when it aired, the raw truth was scrubbed clean. No hospital bed, no surgery footage, just a sanitized card saying Otto was receiving medical care. What happened behind the scenes? That's where the real storm was brewing. Charlotte stood by in that hospital, a quiet fury in her eyes. The camera had caught so many moments over the years, her laughter, her strength, her resilience. But this time, when Otto was strapped to a sled in a race against time, the lens turned away. Ivan and August were left to pick up the pieces, stepping into boots too big and too heavy for either to fill alone. Their once unshakable homestead felt like it had lost its anchor. Even the herd seemed restless. Ivan, normally composed, fumbled the fencing wire. August's voice cracked as he tried to keep the cattle calm. That's when it hit everyone watching. This wasn't just a family crisis. This was a shift in the foundation of a dynasty built on grit and generations. And still, through the pain, Otto's legend looms larger than life. Financially, the Kilcher brand has generated considerable wealth over the years. Discovery contracts, merchandise, even book deals spun off from their rugged lifestyle. Otto's slice of that pie helped fund a life that, while modest on the surface, held surprising luxuries beneath the flannel and frostbite. He's been spotted behind the wheel of a custom Jeep Gladiator built for icy terrain, not for showrooms. Inside their main cabin lies a vintage Swiss watch, passed down, yes, but valued at over $20,000. The Kilcher estate, though rustic, stretches across acres of Alaskan frontier land, estimated to be worth millions in today's real estate market. In private, the family has quietly invested in renewable energy ventures and sustainable agriculture, betting their fortune not on Hollywood flash, but long-term resilience. Even Otto's protection strategy mirrors his philosophy: pragmatic, but thorough. Sources close to the family confirm long-standing health insurance policies designed to cover extreme occupational risks, along with property insurance for the homestead's vast equipment and tools. He's also held a career continuity policy through a third-party broker to protect income in case of filming interruptions. It's one of those behind-the-scenes moves few ever discuss on camera, but it's a lifeline for people whose living depends on their bodies. Here's where things take a turn. Otto's story is no longer just about survival. It's a living lesson in how to build legacy with intention. He didn't gamble on overnight riches or luxury excess. Instead, he leveraged brand visibility and diversified wisely, even in a remote part of the world where opportunity is as rare as daylight in winter. That's the quiet genius behind the beard and the busted tractor. And it's a powerful reminder. Wealth isn't just about what you flaunt. It's about what you protect and what you leave behind. But Otto isn't the only one redefining survival in Hollywood's shadows. Recent whispers out of Los Angeles reveal another familiar face caught in a financial nosedive that no one saw coming. The details? Coming up. And trust me, you won't look at their past success the same way again. Just when you thought the frontier was the only place where legends fall, Hollywood proves it's no less ruthless. The next name on this unfolding list has lived both extremes: red carpets and repossessions. Fame is a bright flame, but for some it's already burning out. Ready to see who's barely holding on behind the velvet ropes? The real storm, however, was brewing far from the icy plains of Homer. Otto Kilcher's health wasn't the only reason his name was in quiet conversations. For nearly a decade, Otto's rugged on-screen presence masked a much bigger financial and legal challenge. While Discovery painted the portrait of a resourceful homesteader, public records show that Otto quietly built a sprawling real estate portfolio in Alaska, valued at over $3.6 million, including 80 acres of land near Fox River, an off-grid hunting lodge, and a newer $1.2 million property near the Kachemak Bay coast. Yet that empire came with maintenance costs that even his homesteading skills couldn't always cover. This narrative is the revelation that Otto had for years offset declining TV revenue with strategic land rentals and side projects, including custom machinery builds for regional tourism outfits. But post-accident, sources close to the family revealed a dip in his financial mobility. Hospital bills, the cost of long-term care, and waning show residuals have reportedly narrowed Otto's once comfortable margins. While his estimated net worth once hovered around $5 million in the mid-2010s, financial analysts now peg it closer to $2.8 million, with projections sliding if the show's viewership doesn't rebound. And yet, his legacy isn't just tied to the land. Otto has long been known in local circles as the proud owner of a vintage 1966 Ford Bronco, fully restored and rumored to be worth over $110,000, a symbol of his gritty charm and mechanical know-how. He also reportedly owns a 2020 GMC Sierra Denali, outfitted for harsh terrain and valued at $85,000. No flashy Lamborghinis or Beverly Hills garages here. Otto's luxury has always been rooted in utility and resilience. Word has it, he once turned down a private plane endorsement deal from a small aviation firm, saying, "I'd rather own more land than sit in a flying tin can." In contrast, Charlotte Kilcher's quiet elegance has emerged as an emotional anchor throughout Otto's ordeal. And her lifestyle has evolved too. Friends close to the family say she's leaned into more sustainable luxury, solar-powered upgrades to their home, and a recent partnership with an eco-luxury clothing brand out of Anchorage. Her watch of choice? A classic Omega DeVille Prestige, understated, durable, and retailing for about $3,200, a nod to sophistication without excess. As for the private jets and extravagant real estate most reality stars accumulate, the Kilchers have bucked that trend entirely. Their wealth is grounded, literally. But the heartbreak doesn't end in Alaska. Just weeks before Otto's latest health scare, whispers surfaced about another reality TV family experiencing their own unraveling. From Homer to Hollywood, cameras caught another legendary figure, Dog the Bounty Hunter. stepping away from the limelight in silence. Once the face of justice-fueled television, Dwayne Chapman's recent low-profile appearances and legal filings hint at a man grappling with more than fading fame. Sources suggest Dog quietly sold off 2 properties in Colorado, including his iconic $750,000 ranch home. While he once boasted a net worth north of $6 million, public court documents from late 2023 suggest that number may now hover closer to $1.9 million after legal fees, medical costs, and 2 high-profile lawsuits. And while Otto's fans demand his return, Dog's followers are haunted by absence without closure. One viral YouTube clip shows Dog walking through a small-town flea market, face shielded by sunglasses, pausing at a vendor's table that sold action figures of him. The irony wasn't lost on fans. "It's like he walked into a museum of himself," one comment read. And he wasn't even the curator. In both cases, a painful question takes root. What happens when the legend can no longer play the part? Back on the Kilcher homestead, the show's producers continue their sleight of hand, editing footage, resurrecting old B-roll, and spinning a narrative that clings to Otto's image while investing in Ivan's rising arc. But behind those bright shots of DIY roof repairs and boot prints in the snow lies the bitter truth. Fans aren't just watching a show. They're watching a dynasty quietly dissolve. The show keeps baiting viewers with nostalgia, scenes of Otto muttering at jammed gears, Charlotte serving soup under a gray sky. But what they don't show is the fracture in the foundation. And perhaps that's why fans keep watching. Not because the Kilchers are picture perfect, but because they are, in their imperfect resilience, profoundly real. One TikTok video recently stitched together scenes from Otto's early seasons, his jokes, his rants, his wisdom, juxtaposed against newer episodes with eerie silence where his voice used to be. It garnered over 2 million views and 1,000 comments asking the same thing. Where is Otto really? And then there's August. Once the rebellious younger brother, now shouldering a quiet pressure to prove himself. Sources claim Discovery pushed August into a more visible role this season, offering him an executive producer credit, a move rarely given to cast members under 30. But with that came criticism. Some fans called him Otto-light, while others praised his calm demeanor and tech-savvy upgrades to the homestead. Yet the weight of carrying a legacy is showing. August's recent absence from 2 episodes triggered fresh rumors of burnout. The emotional undercurrent running through the Kilcher saga isn't just about health or screen time. It's about the loss of certainty. About what happens when a family built on grit and unity must evolve or fracture under the heat of the spotlight. What fans are witnessing isn't just a transition, it's a reckoning. That distance wasn't just the aftermath of trauma. It was the quiet withdrawal of a man who finally realized the cost of commodifying his life. Otto Kilcher gave us authenticity in a world obsessed with filters, yet when reality hit him hardest, the lens didn't flinch. And now, as the homestead legacy passes on, viewers are left to wonder, is Levi preserving a lifestyle or performing one? Meanwhile, in another corner of the entertainment world, a bombshell rocked fans of Shannon Doherty. Her battle with illness took a heartbreaking turn when she revealed the extent of her condition on her podcast, an unfiltered confession that cracked even the toughest hearts. Once the fierce Brenda Walsh of Beverly Hills, 90210, she was the face of youthful rebellion. Today, she's become a symbol of raw courage, speaking openly about what it means to lose parts of your life. Not just health, but time, career, and relationships. Her financial journey mirrors this evolution. While she once commanded $75,000 per episode during her prime, medical bills, legal fights, and limited roles have chipped away at her net worth, estimated now at just $3 million. But the real story lies in her resilience. Shannon invested quietly in Los Angeles real estate, securing a Brentwood home valued at $5.2 million. She also maintains a modest but meaningful portfolio in health-focused startups, a pivot born from her own experience. And then there's Lisa Bonet, the enigmatic star who broke the mold in the 80s, then disappeared just as quickly. Her re-emergence, timed with the legal uncoupling from Jason Momoa, unveiled not just a personal shift, but a dramatic financial pivot. The former Cosby Show darling once lived in quiet rebellion, shunning red carpets and wealth for a minimalist Malibu existence. Now, her stake in a Malibu Canyon compound, spanning over 6 acres and estimated at $14 million, tells a different story. Her taste? Vintage Jaguars, a Patek Philippe watch that collectors speculate is worth over $300,000, and rumored ownership in a boutique plant-based beauty line with celebrity backing. It's the kind of financial reinvention few predicted. Lisa's story teaches us that sometimes wealth isn't loud, it's curated. Quiet power, layered in silence and property lines. While Lisa recedes from the spotlight, another figure reclaims it, Lisa Marie Presley, through her legacy. The tangled legal battle over Graceland cast new light on how quickly fortune can turn. Her net worth at death was a shocking negative $16 million due to reckless management, ballooning debts, and lawsuits. Yet Riley Keough, her daughter, stepped in with an iron resolve. Riley's team reversed course, selling off non-Graceland holdings, negotiating new licensing deals with streaming platforms, and finalizing a contract with a luxury fashion house to brand Graceland-themed apparel. The estate's projected earnings? A potential $10 million bump annually. Riley's business acumen didn't come from nowhere. It's what happens when grief becomes motivation. She didn't just save a house, she salvaged an empire. And speaking of unexpected empires, Cybill Shepherd's resurgence is rewriting her narrative. The former moonlighting star, once labeled difficult and unbankable, now helms a production company that just inked a distribution deal with A24. It's a full-circle moment. In the 90s, she walked away from $1 million a season offers for integrity. Today, that integrity has crystallized into control. Her Memphis estate, purchased in 2003 for $2.1 million, is now valued at $6.7 million. She drives a fully restored 1967 Shelby GT 501 of only a handful remaining, and reportedly wears a diamond-set Rolex Cosmograph Daytona on red carpets, a timepiece valued at over $250,000. But her wealth isn't just material. Cybill has become a cautionary tale with a twist. Don't underestimate the woman who walked away. Deborah Winger's path, by contrast, remains jagged and uncompromising. After leaving Hollywood's inner circle, she lived in near anonymity on a Pennsylvania farm. But a recent Netflix production brought her roaring back into relevance. Her decision to co-finance the indie series with silent partners was a financial gamble, and it paid off. Her current net worth, once believed to be under $5 million, is now estimated to have surged past $12 million after back-end profits rolled in. She owns several properties across the Northeast, including a converted 18th-century inn in Vermont, rumored to be valued at $4 million. Her investments are equally unpredictable. She holds equity in a chain of eco-retreats and recently insured her voice, yes, her voice, for $1 million, citing past vocal injuries. It's a classic Deborah move, unorthodox, brilliant, and ahead of her time. Let's not forget Frank Fritz of American Pickers fame, whose downfall was perhaps the most tragic of all. After a debilitating stroke, Frank's fortune, once peaking at $6 million, has dwindled. His Iowa farmhouse was quietly listed for sale at $655,000, signaling a possible need for long-term care funding. Yet the more gut-wrenching detail is how alone he seemed through it all. Former partner Mike Wolf's public statements couldn't mask the chasm between them. And when Frank's financial documents surfaced in court, listing outstanding debts, unpaid taxes, and the cancellation of multiple antique show appearances, it became clear fame didn't guarantee a safety net. Still, Frank's story holds a lesson. Success needs a plan, not just passion. Otto Kilcher's story comes back into focus here, not as an anomaly, but as part of a broader Hollywood narrative. These aren't just stars, they're survivors of an industry that consumes and forgets. Otto may not own a fleet of luxury cars or a Rolex collection, but his mechanical creations are still scattered across the Alaskan wilderness like monuments to ingenuity. And that's his empire, earned, not bought. His homestead's value is estimated between $1.5 to $2 million, but its emotional worth? Incalculable. He never sought to brand it, just to preserve it. So what financial lessons can we draw from this gallery of fame, loss, and reinvention? First, legacy outpaces liquidity. Otto, Lisa Marie, and Frank show us that true wealth is what endures. Skills, values, memories. Second, reinvention pays. Whether it's Sibyl's production empire or Riley's executive control over Graceland, those who pivot thrive. Third, visibility isn't always an asset. Lisa Bonet built quietly. Shannon braved vulnerability. Winger strategized in the shadows. Privacy, in their cases, preserved power. And finally, there's a brutal truth. The spotlight is seductive, but it's not a safety net. If the camera crews left tomorrow, who would still be standing? Otto's trembling hands still grip the tools. Frank's heart still aches. Riley's pen still signs contracts. And we, the audience, would do well to remember. We are witnesses, not owners of their stories. The credits may roll, but the truth? It's still unfolding. And there you have it. From a quiet Indiana girl to a comedic legend who stole scenes, hearts, and a place in TV history. Joyce DeWitt's journey through fame, friendship, and fierce independence is anything but ordinary. If you laughed, gasped, or shouted, "No way," at any point, give us a like. Drop your favorite Three's Company moment in the comments. We know you have one. And hey, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Let's just say, more Hollywood secrets are about to break loose. Because in a world full of drama queens and TV icons, Joyce DeWitt proved one thing: sometimes the quietest characters leave the loudest legacy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next Spotlight.